Hello, so this video is about the greatness of Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible movies and his role as Ethan Hunt. And I'm making this video because, although it has been like more than 1 year since Mission Impossible movie was released, but I loved it a lot, even though it was, for some people, it was very silly, but I loved that movie. So, now, I recently watched another spy movie called as Durandar 2. It's a Bollywood movie, and it is nothing like Tom Cruise, but it is great in its own sense. But people are loving the reality of that movie, the realism that is portrayed, and I appreciate it. But for me, still, Tom Cruise is the greatest spy. The way Tom Cruise plays Ethan Hunt. I feel like he is doing method acting, he is doing what Daniel Day-Lewis does. He literally has studied so much about how the best spy in the history of the world will behave, and he exactly behaves like that, and that is such an achievement of Tom Cruise. That is just such a beautiful thing. His acting is so perfect. I will just talk about one scene in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. There is a scene in which Tom Cruise is being taken to meet the President of the United States, and he's literally walking, and they are literally preparing for war room and everything, and they are all reporting where which ship is, where which submarine is, and Ethan Hunt, or Tom Cruise, who I want to say, he literally looks at the ship or the submarine that he needs to use in order to get his job done, and he is able to observe that, and there is another guy from the CIA. He observing that, and within the next scene, he literally says that I need that USS warship, and I need that thing to help me, and that just proves the perfection of this, how much being a spy for Tom Cruise is not just about climbing and doing stunts and jumping from a cliff. He does that, of course, but for Tom Cruise, he understands that being a spy means you have to be one of the smartest human beings in the world, to be one of the greatest spy in the world, and he is one of the smartest human beings in the world. Means he is that kind of a person that, the way he portrays it is so perfect. When he's that kind of person that if he's playing chess with Magnus Carlsen, the best chess player in the world, and he needs to at least challenge him in a way. He needs to get his job done, and that is one of his mission, and he would play it with so much concentration. He would play it with such an intensity that even Magnus Carlsen would be like, wow, this guy is smart. For someone who has never played chess like that, chess at a professional level, this guy is smart as fuck, and that is what made Tom Cruise the pinnacle of perfection. He knows that he is playing the spy, and his spy is the best spy because him being him being an agent, and him being on the field, he has to outlast everyone else. He has to outlast people from Russia, from India, from China, and he knows it, and he does it with so much intensity. He does it so well, man. That guy deserves an Oscar for his Mission Impossible movies. I just want him to make them again and again, more and more movies. I know last time the plot got a little silly. He doesn't have any human enemies anymore. He's literally fighting a god in a way, an entity. So that becomes a little bit like magic, like somebody literally wrote in the news that Fast and Furious, it's like Fast and Furious, that it went from realism and now it has become completely but still, even with that, I would really say that, he puts his heart and soul, especially in the character and in the acting, in the intensity, in the seriousness, he puts his heart and soul in it, and I really respect him for that. And thanks a lot, Mr. Tom Cruise. You give the world how the best spy in the world would look like. You give the world a very special gift, because we don't really like read about spies, like, means we have seen documentaries or movies, but we don't really like, get to know about them, because even if they are coming on a podcast, they won't be telling everything about them. But Tom Cruise, with his role, with his charisma, he shows that the best spy in the business would be like that. Like, I was even wondering his training, like he would be training for hours and days to get to that level. Like, means a personality like Ethan Hunt, like, he is able to speak in different languages. I know he might not be an expert in all those languages, but at least he is able to have a conversation. He is able to hold a conversation many times. One time in French, one time in Italian. So he's definitely like, learning words on the go. So the kind of training that he must be having, when he was trained to become a spy, wow, man, that is just such an attention to detail. And I love you, man. I love you, Ethan Hunt. And one of the best characters ever written for any movie. The thing is that because it goes into that kind of an action movie, it doesn't get appreciated a lot. But it must be appreciated a lot, because it's so hard to see things like that. Thank you so much all. Look, thank you. Let's talk about some things later on. Thank you.